What's going on, guys? It's your boy Oxy. We're going to get you prepped for the main event, Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. We're going to be looking at the Bantamweight division, which is 135 pounds. By looking into that weight class and looking at the top 10 of the division. As our champion, we have Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling has been reigning the division back since COVID was happening, which I believe was back in 2020. He actually received his title due to an illegal knee. Therefore, his opponent, Petr Yan, was disqualified. He then rematched Petr Yan to gain his title the correct way and beat him fair and square. He is to be fighting Sean O'Malley at UFC 292. I'm goddamn excited for this one. Now moving on to the rankings. At number 1, we have Merab Dvalishvili. I'm not going to bother. Merab has been dominating this division for a little while now, and you might be wondering why he doesn't have the title, and that is because he is actively training partners with Aljamain Sterling, so he is refusing to fight for this title. Aljamain has recently come out and said that he wants to move up to 145 pounds to challenge that weight's champion, Alexander Volkanovski, and when he does that, it is very likely that Merab will be fighting for the title. At number 2, we have Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley is a very popular figure right now in the world of MMA and in the world of social media. He has climbed up the ranks since the Contender Series, receiving amazing knockouts. His striking is so good, it's so unorthodox, and he actually beat Petr Yan in a decision victory. I think it was split decision. They did something very smart with Sean O'Malley where they built him up very slowly, therefore allowing him to gain top contenders. However, he jumped from a super low spot in the rankings to fight Petr Yan. So many people doubted the skills of O'Malley, and he ended up coming out on top. Very excited for what he has in store for the future of the division. I think he'll be a great contender. At number 3, we have former champion Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo just recently got out of retirement to face Aljamain Sterling and lost via decision. Henry Cejudo was very much a dominant champion in that division. He doesn't exactly have too many title fights in the 135-pound division, but he does have dominant wins over former champions like Dominic Cruz and TJ Dillashaw, who he beat within the first round. Henry Cejudo was actually the former 125-pound champion as well, and was one of the very few double champs that we've had in the UFC. Double champs meaning that he's held 2 titles within the same reign. On to the next contender. At number 4, we have Corey Sandhagen. Corey Sandhagen is actually fighting, well, for you guys, was fighting last Saturday and was fighting Rob Font. Corey Sandhagen is a very technical and beautiful striker. He's definitely one of the best strikers in the division. Corey Sandhagen has to be one of the more underrated performers in this division, with some absolutely flashing wins. His most recent notable win against Chito Vera. This division is absolutely stacked right now, is what I'm trying to tell you guys. At number 5, we have Petr Yan. As of right now, Petr Yan is on a little bit of a decline, losing 4 of his last 5. Although 1 was a disqualification. He actually recently lost to Merab via unanimous decision. For those of you that don't know, unanimous means all the 3 judges scored that contest for Merab. It's crazy because he is a very good fighter, and I think he just needs to get back in the win column. At number 6, we have Marlon Chito Vera. For a while now, Chito Vera was on a tear through this division. He just recently lost to Corey Sandhagen. However, he is the only man to beat Sean O'Malley, who is currently fighting for the title. I think Chito just had a bad night on a not so good performance, and I think within his next few fights, he should get back into the win column and be fighting for the title soon, because I do think he is that good. He's a very patient fighter, however, so I'm not too sure how that will fare against the top contenders and the top people who don't really like putting pressure. At number 7, we have Rob Font. Rob Font is coming off of an amazing performance against Adrian Yanez. Rob Font has been in this division and in the UFC for a very long time. He is going to be facing Corey Sandhagen, which is actually on short notice due to number 11th ranked Umar Nurmagomedov pulling out. At number 8, we have Song Yadong. Song Yadong is probably one of the more entertaining up-and-comers within the top 10. I think he has a very bright future ahead of him in this division and in the UFC. I think he does have the star power to become a really big star. He is already a well-known name within the MMA community, so there's no doubt in my mind that this guy can reach superstardom. I definitely think that he has a bright future and he's going to be climbing the ranks soon. At number 9, we have former champion Dominic Cruz. Dominic Cruz has been in and out of the win column recently. His recent loss being to Chito Vera. However, he was winning that fight, but he just caught one bad kick and got knocked unconscious. Dominick Cruz was tearing through the bantamweight division and having these dominant performances. When they say the greatest of all time in 135 pounds, they do mention Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz is up there with the best of the best, beating guys like TJ Dillashaw and Uriah Faber in their primes. He even has a win over one of the greatest of all times in MMA period, Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. However, his career has been unfortunately plagued with nothing but injuries. From fighting 3 times within the span of a year to actually not fighting until 4 years after that. It's been almost a year since Dominick Cruz has stepped foot in the octagon, and I hope to see him again really soon. He doesn't show any types of phases of a decline, I don't think, in my personal opinion. I think his style is still very unpredictable and has been beaten pretty much top contenders. And to round out the top 10, we have Pedro Munoz. Pedro Munoz is another one of those guys who has been in the division for a very long time. There's not too much to say about him because he is on the decline, unfortunately, losing 3 in his last 4. We will definitely see how this weekend plays out with Corey Sandhagen and Rob Font. Now, I'm going to give you guys 2 honorable mentions simply because one of those honorable mentions is actually at the number 11 spot, and I do think he will crack the top 10 very soon. And that is Umar Nurmagomedov, who was supposed to be fighting Corey Sandhagen this weekend, or for you, this past weekend. He is 16-0. He's definitely going to tear through this division, and we'll see where he ends up into the future. With the way that his career trajectory is going, I think him and Merab would be so fucking fun. But to give you guys another honorable mention, we have Adrian Yanez. Adrian Yanez is one of those alumni from the Contender Series who recently lost to Rob Font, unfortunately, but was on a tear through the division. And I can't go a video without mentioning one of Houston's own, Adrian Yanez. He has the makings of a high-level fighter, but his defense is just not that good. His defense relies on his chin too much, which is just unfortunate. However, be on the lookout for him. I was watching him since the Contender Series, so I know. But that is one guy to look out for. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm actually surprised this is the division that I know most about, to be completely honest with you. But I guess that just goes to show how stacked this division is, and it might be one of the best. Tune in next week where we talk about UFC 292's co-main event, which is Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos, which is the women's strawweight division. This upcoming week, we have Vicente Luque versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Let me know your picks down below in the comments. Let's see who you guys think is going to win.
At the bottom, other side of that bottle. She want more Moscato, yeah. I need more Picasso. Fuck your friends, that man's a bitch. Probably wish I don't exist.